tonight, a growing memorial in Brockville.
People are astounded by the reality that this could happen in our community.
As police reveal the identities of the woman and her teenage daughters killed in a triple murder. Investigating a workplace death in a Kanata auto shop.
It's really rare. I only heard once before this accident.
An employee killed when a tire ruptures in a mechanical bay. And good news for restaurant owners, no more fees to go al fresco.
That's something we've been fighting for. You know, and we always say in this business, like, it's death by 1,000 cuts.
Propping up patio season, the city will once again do away with patio fees for the summer. Good evening. We begin tonight with the latest on a triple murder in Brockville. Police have identified the victims as the community prepares to gather for a celebration of life for a mother and her two daughters killed last week. CTV's Caitlin Wilson joins us live with more. Caitlin.
Yeah, Patricia, as friends, family and neighbors prepare to say goodbye to a mother and her two daughters killed last week, advocates say the tragedy is also forcing difficult conversations about intimate partner violence into the open. Along the water's edge in Brockville, people stopping at this memorial dedicated to women and girls who have died as a result of violence.
I really believe it is a very unfortunate and tragic situation. We have, such a young family have lost their life.
A small display of flowers now sits beneath it in memory of 49-year-old Lawanda Elliott and her two daughters, 17-year-old Michaela and 15-year-old Nikita. The three were found dead inside an apartment on Cartier Court last Thursday in what police are calling a case of intimate partner violence.
People are astounded by the reality that this could happen in our community. And it's an opportunity, frankly, for us to continue to have this conversation and to amplify the realities of intimate partner violence in our communities.
It's the 13th alleged case of femicide in the province since November, according to the Ontario Association of Interval and Transition Houses. And advocates with Lanark County say they're also seeing more young people impacted by violence.
The reality is we've seen a steady increase that speak to 17-year-olds and under, and the level of violence that is happening in relationships with our youth.
A 17-year-old who cannot be named under the Youth Criminal Justice Act is charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and assaulting a police officer. As the investigation continues, police are asking anyone to come forward with surveillance footage in an area of Loyalist Park between 10 p.m. on May 6th and 2 p.m. on May 7th. And as the community continues to grieve, a celebration of life will take place here at the Brockville Wesleyan Church Friday at 2 p.m. The service will also be live streamed for those unable to attend in person. Brockville's mayor was not available for an interview, but in a statement Friday said, "Brockville is a strong and compassionate community. We will continue to support one another and stand together during this incredibly difficult time." And for many in the small city, this memorial has now become a place to reflect.
You're looking at a statue that represents violence against women, and yet we have not learned anything from this, and we're constantly repeating the same thing over and over.
And for those attending the celebration of life on Friday who wish to bring something, the family is asking for financial support in lieu of flowers. Patricia?
CTV's Caitlin Wilson live for us tonight. Thank you. You can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details about the investigation and the police request for video of that area. You can download the CTV News app right now. Just scan the QR code on your screen using your smartphone. Well, the Quebec government is taking action against intimate partner violence. A new bill will allow women to learn more about their partner's history of violence. The bill is named in honor of Gabby Renault, who was allegedly killed by her partner last September. The legislation will allow a person who fears for their safety or for the safety of their child to receive information regarding the history of domestic violence of a current or former partner. Well, turning now to a tragic incident at an auto shop in Kanata. A young man is dead after a tire ruptured in the mechanical bay over the weekend, and now the Ministry of Labour is investigating. CTV's Austin Lee joins us live now with more on this, Austin.
Yeah, Patricia, this happened at Kanata Wheels, where the worker, a man in his early 20s, died after a tire ruptured. He suffered critical injuries and was later pronounced dead in hospital. It's a situation that tire technicians are calling extremely rare. Tragedy struck Kanata Wheels Saturday afternoon when a tire ruptured, claiming the life of a man in his 20s.
Devastating for the family, devastating for friends, just devastating for our city in general.
According to Ottawa police, first responders were called to a business on Edgewater Street Saturday at around 1:40. Paramedics transported the critically injured worker to hospital, where he later died.
Just use the inside.
Across town at Super Tire,
This way there is no chance of popping the tire,
technicians here are well aware of the risks.
but it's always clamped on the outside.
Roughly 30 years in business and no serious incidents reported here, but a tire rupturing is a scary possibility for all tire technicians.
Pretty much a bomb. Yeah, you're pretty much inflating a balloon that's more resistant, but still they pop. They are dangerous.
Ontario's Ministry of Labour is now investigating the tragedy at Kanata Wheels. In a statement, the Ottawa Police Service says this tragic incident is not believed to be suspicious. The Ottawa Police Service is supporting an investigation into the incident by the Ministry of Labour. But the Ottawa and District Labour Council says both the ministry and police should be conducting their own investigations.
They also need to ensure that their investigators are taking a look at the whole of the project, the whole of the workplace fatality from a different lens.
A tire rupturing resulting in serious injury, or in this case death, is highly unusual.
It's really rare. I only heard once before this accident. It was about 10 years ago.
Now, the name of the victim is still unknown. We also reached out to Kanata Wheels for comment, but we have yet to receive an official response from the company. Patricia.
CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, for the second time in a week, police responded to a call for a wheel coming off a vehicle on the Queensway. Ontario Provincial Police say a tire came off this vehicle on Highway 417 near Parkdale about 7:30 this morning. The tire jumped the median and struck two vehicles traveling westbound. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Police say the driver of this vehicle had just recently changed his own tires and had not double torqued them. Last Friday, a driver was seriously injured after their vehicle was hit by a tire on the highway. Well, a month after splashdown, the crew of Artemis 2 touched down in Ottawa today to share stories of their historic journey around the moon. It was a chance for students and the public to learn about the mission and to highlight Canada's contribution. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports.
We didn't really see this either because this is so cool.
It was a different kind of moon mission in Ottawa today.
I think we saw that crater.
The Artemis 2 crew giving Prime Minister Mark Carney and a group of students special insight into their epic 10-day lunar flyby mission. 12-year-old Louis Castro Lopez among the middle school students who got to ask the astronaut questions.
Yeah, I watched the astronauts and just to come here, like to meet our school was, wow, amazing.
Fellow 7th grader Annabelle Busby Sheridan did too, and she got to hold a piece of meteorite from the moon.
It was such a privilege. Like, I never thought, ever that I'd ever be able to meet them.
Splashdown confirmed.
The visit to the capital comes just over 1 month after the 4-person crew splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean.
We surpassed the furthest distance humans have ever traveled.
Following a groundbreaking mission to the far side of the moon that captured the world's attention. Canadian Jeremy Hansen getting a special thank you from Carney.
And this is the flag that flew on the day you splashed down.
Oh, wow.
Hansen's trip into outer space was his first, and it was also the furthest any Canadian astronaut has ever traveled.
Canada very much went to space, and I rode on your shoulders.
That Canadian pride on full display at each stop in the capital, where fans, young and old, were inspired to reach new heights.
I want to be the first man, and if it's possible, to walk on Mars.
The Artemis 2 crew will now head to Montreal, where the astronauts will share more about their thoughts on the mission at the Canadian Space Centre tomorrow. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Still ahead after an auspicious debut, Ottawa's own NASCAR Canada driver getting set for a second season on the track. It wasn't easy, but we caught up with Connor Bell for a look at where he's at, where he's headed, and how fast. That story coming up. Well, taking a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. Not very pleasant out there right now. It is 8 degrees, pretty cool, and it has been rainy all day. But the good news is this picture is not going to last into the end of the week and the weekend. We do remain with a chance of showers this evening. Cloudy tomorrow, about a 40% chance we will see some precipitation tomorrow. Could see a little on Friday as well with sun and clouds in the forecast, but those temperatures are going to warm up once we get beyond tomorrow. Tonight, we'll see that 8 degrees continue till 8 p.m. You'll wake up to similar conditions, 7 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud and a chance of showers, up to 10 by noon and 13 in the afternoon. Right now, though, 8 degrees this evening, still in that single-digit territory with that continued chance of showers. We're going to share the good news with you with the full forecast coming up in just a bit. But when you're seeing that, you know that it has not been a great start to patio season for local restaurants. It is, however, about to get better. The City of Ottawa is moving to provide some financial relief heading into summer. Council voting today to waive patio fees, saving establishments hundreds of dollars. CTV's Steph Keys joins us with more on this, Steph.
Patricia, some restaurant owners have raised concerns about the cost of operating patios in Ottawa, noting the fees to set up on the city's right-of-way have returned to pre-pandemic levels. The city scrapped patio fees in 2020, 2021, and 2022 to provide relief to restaurants during the COVID-19 pandemic. The fees were gradually increased in 2023 and the year after that, and fully restored last year. Today, councillors unanimously approved a motion from Mayor Mark Sutcliffe and Councillor Sean Menard to waive the patio fees for the summer. Sutcliffe says the goal is to help businesses at a time when costs are rising.
This is Ottawa's 200th birthday. We want to have a great summer season. We want lots of patios open, lots of people enjoying their time on the patios, residents and visitors alike. And so if we can support small businesses, reduce their costs, reduce their financial pressures, make it easier for them to open their patios for this season in particular, we want to do everything we can.
Patios offer restaurants, cafes, and bars an additional space for customers during our short summer season. The general manager of the King Eddie says their patio fees cost $1,800 a month.
Everything has gone up, from labor to food, and not just the food itself, transporting the food, transportation costs. So, all those things add up, and we always say in this business, it's death by 1,000 cuts. So, the more of those expenses you can kind of limit or offset, then, the better chance you have at surviving.
The city collected approximately $460,000 in patio fees from businesses last year alone. As part of the plan, the city will provide funding to the Spark Street Mall Authority and the Bayard Market District Authority to offset the loss in patio fee revenue. Patricia.
All right, CTV Steph Keys live for us tonight. Thanks, Steph. Well, the price at the pumps is on the rise again, heading into the long weekend. Gas prices jumped 3 cents a litre this morning to $1.91 a litre. Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTeague says prices will jump another 3 to 4 cents a litre tomorrow. McTeague tells CP24 that the war in the Middle East is affecting oil supplies.
What's worse here is that, we're dealing with a significant shortage of oil supplies that will not be remedied simply by a peace agreement that might see the Straits up. The damage is done. The inventory is extraordinarily low to historical levels, and that means that the energy crisis is going to continue pretty much throughout the summer.
The cost of gas has increased 60 cents a litre over the last 3 months. Well, it is a bold move designed to get people talking about impaired driving. Ottawa police will be installing lawn signs where impaired drivers are caught across the city to raise awareness about the frequency and severity of the crime. CTV's Katie Griffin is here with more. Katie.
Well, Patricia, police hope they won't have to use these signs, but say an impaired driver has been caught nearly every day since the start of the year. The number of people charged representing a 22% increase from the same period last year. Police launching their month-long impaired driving awareness campaign this afternoon. Part of it includes putting up lawn signs that say impaired driver caught here at locations where impaired drivers have been stopped. Between January 1st and April 30th, 288 drivers have been charged. So far this year, 1 fatal collision and 4 other crashes resulting in life-altering injuries have been linked to impaired driving. Police say impaired driving is never an accident, it's a choice, and that the signs will be a powerful visual reminder of the frequency.
People will be able to see these in their daily travels, on their way to school, on their way to work, on their way to pick up their kids, on their way to do groceries, on the way out to a restaurant. And we want people talking about the dangers of impaired driving on our roadways.
We can deplore the driver's actions with words such as reckless, thoughtless, reprehensible, uncaring. But these words are woefully inadequate to address such behavior in the eyes of those who see and deal with the carnage and tragedies that are left in the hearts and lives of those who are victimized by these offenders.
Weekly ride programs like this one today will continue to take place at all times of day. And police say if you suspect someone is impaired behind the wheel, call 911 right away. Patricia.
CTV's Katie Griffin live for us tonight. A good reminder. Thank you. Well, Canada is one step closer to getting a new pipeline that will transport Alberta crude to the West Coast. CTV News has confirmed a major piece of the puzzle has now been addressed. CTV's Ottawa Bureau Chief Graham Richardson reports.
After years of opposition and protest, pipeline politics are changing. What seemed entirely unlikely just 18 months ago is now one major step closer.
Are you willing to allow a new pipeline?
The Prime Minister not confirming it, but sources telling CTV News his government and Alberta are set to announce a deal on a new pipeline to the West Coast.
I think it's a great thing for the industry and it's a great thing for Canada.
This is one part of a complex process, and it was telegraphed last week by Alberta Premier Daniel Smith in Ottawa.
Sometimes it happens that you get the two principals in the room and you kind of sort through what some of the disagreements are, and I felt like we sorted through a lot today, had a meeting of the minds, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to announce an agreement very soon.
A key sticking point was the industrial carbon price rising higher each year. Sources say the Carney Liberals have agreed to slow the growth in the price significantly. Under the plan introduced in 2016, the carbon price was supposed to hit $170 per ton by 2030. Now that will be reduced and only hit $130 a ton by 2040.
Having investment in our own energy sovereignty. And I think in these circumstances, we need to adapt and we need to invest.
Some environmental groups would not openly criticize the shift, but they are clearly disappointed.
We've been suggesting that getting to $130 a ton for the Alberta industrial carbon price by 2030 was a reasonable and effective deadline. Instead, it looks like that's going to happen by 2040, fully a decade later. So that is disappointing.
Of course, hanging over all of this is years of acrimony between Alberta and Ottawa. Will this change all of that? Probably not, but it will be seen as one of the first positive steps in many years. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Ottawa Charge are in Montreal getting ready for the first all-Canadian Walter Cup final.
For Ambrose. Ambrose on the ground, pull and her shot, she scores!
The Montreal Victoire booked their ticket to the PWHL final with a 2-1 win over Minnesota last night. The Victoire will now face the Ottawa Charge in the final. Game 1 set for tomorrow night at Place Bell in Montreal. Charge captain Brienne Jenner told reporters the team has been through a lot together and a championship would be special.
It's what we trained for. It's the dream. It would mean a lot to this group, to our players, to our staff. We've been through a lot together, and I think, to our fan base, it would mean a lot as well. But just to see the crowds that we have, to see the support that we have, the excitement around this playoffs, it's, I still have moments where I pinch myself, and I feel extremely lucky that I just get to be a part of it.
Game 3 of the final will be at Canadian Tire Centre Monday evening, 6 p.m. Game 4, if necessary, is scheduled for May 20th, also here in Ottawa.
Can you hear the roar from the hammer?
The Charge and Victoire will be visiting Hamilton and Las Vegas for games next season. The PWHL announcing 2 new teams for the 2026-27 season. Las Vegas will play games at T-Mobile Arena, while Hamilton will play games out of TD Coliseum. Last week, the league announced Detroit will also be joining the PWHL next season. Well, a 5-year-old boy is okay after being rescued from a concrete hole on the school playground. Firefighters were called to a school on Tartan Drive in Barrhaven yesterday afternoon. A child stepped into a concrete hole that was previously used as a fence post and could not get his leg out. Firefighters used chisels and a pry bar to break away the concrete and rescue the child.
Hi, I'm Connor Bell, and this is my race car.
Well, coming up, an Ottawa driver is in the fast lane at the start of his career. And taking a live look now through our Centennial Glass sky cam, still gray out there, a little rainy and cool, 8 degrees. We'll be back in a moment.
Ottawa is always on the move.
We're a big city
with a laid-back vibe.
Where foodies love their sweets.
And markets bursting with flavor.
Wrapped up in waterways.
And hot summer days.
This is a city where culture is on display.
And the future
meets the past.
Where people come together.
Always proud.
Often loud. Whee!
And positively the best place to live.
We move with you, Ottawa!
Not the most pleasant drive out there tonight. Possibly some visibility issues, slick roads as well. Camera not so great either, and we are seeing some backups when you get to about Churchill westbound. Yeah, it's really stretching out there on the Queensway in those spots. Well, to win a NASCAR Canada race, it takes more than just 4 wheels and a massively powered engine. It comes down to skill and talent. CTV's Peter Sperling introduces us to an Ottawa driver off to a fast start in his young career.
Start your engines and strap in. This is Ottawa's very own NASCAR Canada racing driver.
Hi, I'm Connor Bell, and this is my race car.
A high-performance, powered, adrenaline-inducing machine.
We sling it around the track at 260 kilometers an hour. We've got 32 cars racing us at a time, and we try and battle it out for the win.
And win he does. The 20-year-old beat everyone else during his first NASCAR Canada start last summer at Calabogie.
It made us only the second person in NASCAR Canada Series history to win on debut, so it was a pretty special event.
He's amped for more.
I do it for the adrenaline, honestly. It's the speed, you know, it always provides that adrenaline rush. And it never gets old.
Speed, that comes from power and skill.
It's pretty crazy. It's a lot of horsepower. There's no traction control or ABS in these things. Quite the ride, and you got to manage that power through all 4 gears.
He got into this from his father.
He's been racing most of his life, and naturally when I was young, I was at the track from I think 2 years old onwards.
But how do you learn to drive this and race? Some start with karting. For Bell,
I've had a little bit of a different path developing as a race car driver. I did most of my development on racing simulators. So that's kind of where I learned all the basics.
Racing is an expensive sport. He says a typical car costs near $200,000. That's where a title sponsor, Diamond Storage, representing the Diamond Foundation, comes in.
We were only able to do this because of our wonderful sponsors.
He's kicking off this season at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in Bowmanville near Toronto. And enthusiastic about this season.
Really looking forward to putting on a show.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
I was going to say, how do the parents feel watching him race? But I guess the dad's doing it too. They are okay with it and probably quite proud. Well, a cold and wet day in Ottawa today, but warm temperatures are on the way for the long weekend. That is the good news. The rain not stopping planes from taking off at the Ottawa International Airport this afternoon. This is nothing. There will be one more day of rainy, cool weather before the temperature does start to warm up. As we take a closer look at your forecast and conditions, there's that rain moving through the capital. A little bit of thunderstorm activity in the mix there as well. We are expecting another day with showers tomorrow, showers into the evening as well. But again, it all improves for the long weekend. We're going to see some really nice temperatures above 20 degrees. We'll get to that for you in just a moment. But let's take a look at what everyone else is dealing with across the country. A cool day in St. John's at 5 degrees. Charlottetown 11, mostly sunny. Fredericton, beautiful, 16 degrees. In Halifax, 10 with a mix of sun and cloud. Into Quebec, in Quebec City, seeing 11 degrees. Toronto, the same. Windsor, a little bit of sunshine and just a slight bit warmer. But here's some of the temperatures that we are going to be seeing over the next few days, and we cannot wait. Sunshine in Winnipeg and 22 degrees. Regina, 26. Saskatoon, 28 degrees today. Edmonton and Calgary both in the low 20s. And in Vancouver, a little bit of cloud cover there and 16 degrees. So here's what we will see tonight. It's going to cool down just a couple of degrees. It's not going to cool off dramatically. 6 degrees for our low in Ottawa. We're staying on the plus side right across the board between 4 and 8 degrees for our overnight lows for the most part. Montreal even slightly warmer than that. Then another fairly cool day on the way tomorrow as we check your daytime highs, 13, 14 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud for the most part, and a chance of some shower activity. About a 40% chance during the day tomorrow. That's going to jump up to about 60% for the evening before things again get better on the weekend, a long weekend. And your 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Center, celebrating over 80 years in family business. All right, so here's how it looks. 14 tomorrow, and then we put that aside and we jump into the 20s. 21 degrees on Friday with a chance of showers. Small chance of showers on Saturday as well at 23. Sunday, sunshine, 23 degrees. The holiday Monday, like you would order it up. 26 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Even warmer potentially on Tuesday, so a little bit of summer weather for your first long weekend of the season. Well, it is an iconic Toronto landmark, and this weekend residents and visitors can get a behind-the-scenes look at the CN Tower. CTV's Beth McDonnell has a sneak peek.
Come along on a rare behind-the-scenes tour of the CN Tower.
Okay, so we're actually going to step into this room here.
This media preview ahead of Doors Open Toronto is a once-in-a-half-century opportunity. Celebrating the tower's 50 years in Toronto's skyline, it focuses on the inner workings of the hexagonal structure.
We have staff and contractors constantly in those spaces, and it takes a lot to sort of clean them up and get them ready for the public. And most people come here for the view. There's no view on this tour. This tour is behind the scenes, backstage. It's a completely different experience for the CN Tower. What our most popular food item is?
This is the same tour Doors Open visitors will experience over the weekend of May 23rd and May 24th, traveling through caverns, tunnels, and plenty of tight spaces. One of the parts of the CN Tower that's never been shown to the public before comes from underground. Visitors will have the chance to look up into the shaft of the tower and see all the cables and pipes that make the CN Tower work. In addition to a light show while gazing up at the tower's core, guests also climb 10 flights of stairs from the observation deck for the other view. Looking down, that's 300 meters or 112 stories. The tour also shows off the tower's history and technology and takes people to the white inflated balloon wrapping around the tower called the radome.
This is the inside of the balloon.
Made of thin fiberglass, which allows broadcast signals to filter through. The CN Tower is one of 168 sites part of this year's Doors Open, the biggest showcasing of landmarks in a decade across all 25 wards. Run by the city, it allows people to see places not normally open to the public or removes the admission.
Doors Open is an incredible opportunity to do a little bit of staycationing in Toronto. It's completely free. It's great for families, great for getting together with your friends.
Only 300 tickets are available to take part in the exclusive CN Tower tour. To get yours, visit toronto.ca/doorsopen. They'll be online as of Tuesday, May 19th at 10 a.m. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Well, coming up, taking off to the West Coast on a new direct flight out of Ottawa.
Tonight, the blurred lines between fact and fiction.
It's the misinformation they see online and actually believe.
Why more Canadians are finding it harder to trust what they see online. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. Researchers at the Hospital for Sick Children in Toronto have uncovered a genetic pathway that could lead to targeted therapies to help with autism. CTV health reporter Pauline Chan reports.
Scientists have known for decades that there was a genetic link to autism spectrum disorder.
Our previous studies looked at the protein coding genes of the genome. And now our novel discovery here actually found a long non-coding RNA. So this is an RNA molecule that has function within the cell.
It's found on the X chromosome, and it's associated with autism in males who carried small deletions in the gene.
So if you think of a light switch, for example, in a room that has 100 different pot lights in it, we think about perhaps this new molecule we've identified is more of a dimmer switch.
And it's connected with what are the core behavioral traits associated with autism, difficulties with socializing, communicating, and repetitive behaviors.
Professor Shearer says the key to their discovery has been their ability to do whole genome sequencing for thousands of people.
5,000 from Canada, plus thousands more from Europe, South Korea, and Qatar. Susan Cosgrove has 3 children, all on the spectrum. She says she's always believed in a genetic link, but this finding could be key in earlier and more reliable diagnosis.
It's still somebody's interpretation of your child's behavior, your child's features. If this was able to be diagnosed through a blood test, right, we wouldn't have to do that wait.
Now that we have cellular pathways identified, we can think about precision therapeutics for perhaps all people who have a diagnosis of autism. And that's why this is really a novel finding.
Newer technology is helping this type of research examine regions of the genome it could never study before. The researchers have been able to transfer these genetic alterations to mouse models to work towards someday developing targeted therapies for specific autism-related genes. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Tonight's big picture, a rare pygmy hippo has been born at the Berlin Zoo. The zoo releasing video of the yet-to-be-named female pygmy hippo, which was born last weekend. The birth is crucial for the endangered species, which has fewer than 2,500 adults remaining in the wild. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now, starting with you will be able to go shopping at more places in Ottawa on Victoria Day. The Ontario government changed the rules to allow retail businesses to open on the holiday Monday. Canadian Tire, Walmart, Home Depot, LCBO, and beer store locations will be open on Monday, along with the Rideau Centre, Bayshore Shopping Centre, Saint Laurent, Place d'Orleans, and Tanger Outlets. According to the website, Costco locations in Ottawa will be closed on Monday. OC Transpo will roll out more details tomorrow on its plan to boost bus and O-Train service. General Manager Rick Leary unveiled a 10-point plan to improve service on Tuesday, including restoring double-car service on O-Train Line 1 by mid-June. Leary says transit riders will hear more information about the plan during Thursday's Transit Committee meeting, and Rideau Transit Group and train maker Alstom will be there to answer questions. Well, you can now fly nonstop from Ottawa to Kelowna. Porter Airlines launching nonstop service between the two cities today with 5 flights a week. The flight from Ottawa to Kelowna departs at 10 a.m. Last week, Porter kicked off nonstop flights from Ottawa to Windsor and Sudbury. Well, there's growing concern that more households are carrying too much debt and struggling to pay their bills. A new report finds 37,000 Canadians either filed a consumer proposal or declared bankruptcy in the first 3 months of the year. That's the highest number of insolvency claims in a 3-month period since 2009. And it is a sign that summer is fast approaching. Boating season on the Rideau Canal. The Canal Cruise has kicked off the new season with tours running from the NAC to Dow's Lake. Parks Canada says the boating season begins on Friday with the historic locks open daily through the spring and summer.
And I will never, ever do anything like that, pay anybody anything ahead of time, and especially not door to door.
Well, coming up, a warning to be aware if contractors do knock on your door this spring.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
You may have noticed contractors in your neighborhood offering to do paving, landscaping, and roofing jobs this spring. CTV's Pat Foran says experts are once again urging consumers to be careful with companies going door to door.
These are all the bricks that they ripped out from there.
It was 1 month ago when someone came to Heidi April's door in Pickering. They told her they were doing other jobs on her street and could clean up her stonework, pressure wash her driveway, and seal it to give it a fresh new look. She signed a contract and they started removing her interlocking stones. They asked for $3,000 in advance, and when they got that, they never came back.
So when's the last time you heard from them?
Well, when I gave them the money.
April says it was her late husband who did the stonework, and she feels she was caught at a weak moment wanting it to look its best.
I will never, ever do anything like that, pay anybody anything ahead of time, and especially not door to door.
April signed the contract with Compact Masonry and Roofing. We emailed them and called them several times.
You took $3,000 from her to do some work, and she says that you took the money and didn't come back.
They never got back to us, and when we went to the address listed on their brochure and contract, there was no sign they were there.
So if anyone is showing up at your door, knocking on your door and saying, hey, we can do this work, we can pull up your pavers and make them look real nice and put them back down, and we need cash on the spot, those aren't professional landscape contractors, those are con artists.
Landscape Ontario is a nonprofit trade association representing those in the landscape industry. While companies may drop off brochures at your door, they won't demand cash in advance. The group recommends getting 3 quotes and searching for vetted contractors through their website.
We confirm that the company has WSIB coverage and that they have general liability coverage, right? And we can see how much training that they've been through.
April will now have to pay someone else to repair the damage done. She says this time she'll go with someone suggested by a friend who has a good reputation.
I found somebody who's going to come later today, and he's going to fix it all up.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Well, there's a big deal in Canadian mining, a merger that will create an $18.5 billion company. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has more.
Equinox Gold is buying Orla Mining in a cash and stock deal worth just over $5 billion U.S. Combined, the new entity would be the second largest Canadian gold producer, with 6 mines across Canada, the U.S., Nicaragua, and Mexico. Together, they would produce more than 1 million ounces of gold a year. But the CEO of Equinox says he aims to double output. Shareholders will vote on the deal in July. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 72.96. West Texas Intermediate down over $1 to 101.02. Western Canadian Select up over $3 to 81.43. And the TSX lost 249 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Yeah. Word up. Capital City.
Well, coming up, this looks so cool. The Myers Team of the Week pedals into CTV News Ottawa.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
Well, we return tonight to a very popular segment on CTV News at 6, the Myers Team of the Week. Sports teams are invited to send us a video to describe why their group is the greatest. Tonight's team, Nepean BMX.
Yeah. Word up.
Nepean BMX says it's more than just a place to ride. It's an awesome community. The Nepean BMX track is hosting the Capital City Nationals on May 29th to 31st, featuring some of the best riders from across North America. Members of the team joining us right here in studio. This looks awesome. Like I could do that maybe. Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. I remember in Barrhaven when there was nothing there, and then they built this up and a huge community that resulted. And Chris, what do people love about it?
I think people love the fact that everybody in the family can be part of the sport. We have riders starting at the age of 2. We have dads riding well into their 50s. And so you basically match up with kids that are the same age group as you, and you have at it.
There are some kids, I don't know if we can on camera here, Brad, get some of these younger ones, but there are kids who start really, really young in that beginner category on a Strider bike, which is awesome. And then there are some kids who are a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. And Ashton, I'm told that you are pretty proficient at this. You're rated what?
9th in the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you start?
I started when I was 2 on a little Strider bike.
Wow. Okay. And you love it?
Yeah, loved it ever since.
What do you have to be good at? I'm told it's like snowboard cross on a bike, gates, lines, all of that. What do you have to excel at?
Well, pretty much it's a lot of agility and like perseverance on it.
Yeah. I would love to see more of this. I love just the video. And Henry, you were how old when you started? 7?
7 or 8.
Yeah. And is it just fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've heard that it's very good, like family oriented, and that if you have a problem on your bike, someone's jumping out to help you. Is that true?
Definitely.
Have you ever had a problem out there on the track?
Yeah.
Yeah? And then what happened?
Someone came up to me and just said, do you need some help?
Love it. And all of these kids really embrace this sport, and it's family friendly.
They do. That's what it's all about. I mean, anybody has any problems, someone's going to take care of you out there. So come on, try it out.
Love it. I just might. Mike's going to help some of these guys try it out and do it on a track that's a little bit better. Coming on in from Myers here with that $1,000 check that they can use to make some track improvements. Have you done any of this? Have you tried this before?
No.
Apparently you
Not
still
that much
can.
of a daredevil.
They're telling me even in your 40s you can still jump out there. So.
Well, I missed that.
Is that you and I? We both missed it. Love this. $1,000 from Myers. Appreciate it. And if you would like to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, just upload your video to ctvottawa.ca.
That's me.
Well, coming up, do you recognize the swing? Rory McIlroy does. He is put to the test. And we have one more live look now through our Centennial Glass Skycam. Not very pretty out there at all. It is cool. It has been gray all day. A lot of rain coming down. More showers tonight and tomorrow, possibly before things improve for the long weekend. 8 degrees in the capital right now.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford. Find your adventure. We stock it. The Bronco family.
Tomorrow on Your Morning Ottawa, what will the Charge have to do to win the Walter Cup? We tee up the championship series with TSN 1200. Steve Lloyd. Tune in on CTV or stream us live on Crave.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's what's on CTV tonight. E-Talk, The Big Bang Theory, MasterChef, The Floor, and Celebrity Jeopardy. Well, here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now. Police releasing the names of a mother and her 2 teenage daughters murdered last week at their Brockville home. 49-year-old DeWanda Elliott and her 2 daughters, Michaela and Nikita, were found dead inside an apartment on Cartier Court.
Devastating for the family, devastating for friends, just devastating for our city in general whenever there's a life lost as a result of a workplace fatality.
A young employee of a Kanata auto shop has died after a tire ruptured in a mechanical bay over the weekend. The Ministry of Labour is investigating.
It is such an honor on behalf of all Canadians to welcome the team of Artemis.
Prime Minister Mark Carney meeting with astronauts from the Artemis 2 mission as the 4 astronauts who flew around the moon spent the day in Ottawa. Not a beautiful day in Ottawa, unfortunately, though. As we take a final look at the weather forecast, it was wet and gray all day, and we're going to see a little bit of that tomorrow. 7 degrees when you wake up with a mix of sun and cloud. A chance of showers for you as well tomorrow. A little bit warmer than what we saw today. We should get up to 14 degrees for tomorrow. But then it starts to get better, inching closer to the long weekend. Friday, 21 degrees with a chance of showers. Warmer on Saturday, 23, and better on Sunday. All sunshine in the forecast for you. Look at the temperatures for Victoria Day, the holiday Monday, and Tuesday, 26, 27 degrees. Starting to talk our language here a little bit.
Very
Steph.
much so.
Yeah, we like those temperatures for sure. We want to check in and see what our news team is working on for tonight. Steph will be on the desk at 11:30.
Patricia, tonight we head out to the West End. Residents there living on Baseline Road near the Queensway Carleton Hospital. Well, they'll have a chance to pick their bones with developer Bridgel. The company has put in a proposal with the city to build 3 new residential buildings right on Baseline Road. We reported on this in the fall, and at the time, those living nearby expressed concern for the level of construction, the fact that increasing the population density by 800 could really impact traffic in an area not well served by public transit, and what the look of 2 high-rises would do to the neighborhood. So tonight's info session is a chance for them to hear from Bridgel and ask questions. Now, if you're in the area and thinking, I'd like to get in on this session, it's already started, but it goes until 8:30, so you still have time. It's happening at 2944 Baseline Road. If you miss it, just join us tonight right here at CTV for 11:30 News.
All right, good stuff. We'll do, Steph. Thank you. And finally for us tonight, can you guess a golfer's swing based on their silhouette?
Ooh.
I don't think I can, but Rory McIlroy apparently knows everyone's swing.
Charles Barkley.
Okay, there we go.
Charles Barkley.
What?
Not even a golfer.
So random.
CBS Sports having some fun with McIlroy ahead of the PGA Championship. So McIlroy knew his own silhouette and NBA legends, Charles Barkley, LeBron James as well. I don't think I could do this, but a lot of parents will tell you when they're watching their kids out on the hockey ice, they can identify every individual based on just the way they skate, right?
Are these all people he's played with? Is that why Charles Barkley got him?
On the station and yeah. Good.
That's impressive.
Scratch golfers, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, very impressive, as was our team of the week tonight. We were really happy to have these competitors who are out there at the PNPMX on the track.
There they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's make them wave for a long time. Work the upper body because they're always working the lower body on the track. Good luck to them. Have a good evening, everyone.